Hello and welcome to my very creaky bed and to 3 AM chat series. This is my Liverpool covers. They stayed at home while I was at uni, so they're not the most grown up, but I've had them for like years and years, so I love them. So I want to talk about something that I don't necessarily think I am the most qualified person to talk about, but I want to talk about it. There was an announcement made last Sunday after Wimbledon that the 13th Doctor was going to be a woman. Now, personally, I think it's great. I think it's about time. I think it should have been done years ago, but they were too worried about the backlash years ago. But now we're in a place in society where it's a bit more accepted, it's a bit more normal to see women in those kind of roles. We've still got a way to go in terms of like equality and in terms of sort of the representation of gender in the media. Now, what I've noticed from mainly sort of Twitter, lots of middle-aged, often white, but that's kind of irrelevant, but middle-aged men complaining and saying, Doctor Who's lost us, I was about to say subscriber then, Doctor Who's lost a viewer, or you know, PC gone mad, and you know, all the rest of it. And I genuinely struggle to understand that mindset. I find it very difficult to have decades of life experience and continue to hold a prejudice against women because why? You know, like that's a very old-fashioned point of view of misogyny, essentially. You know, that has no place in society. But I can't understand that you could get to that point and not really get the fact that it's okay for a shape-shifting, time-travelling, fictional alien whose lore, or the canon of the show, even includes the fact that these aliens can regenerate into a body of a different sex, or at least sex as humans see it, can then be played by a woman. You know, just in terms of the actual sort of canon of the show, you know, you had in the episode, which I'm going to put over my face now, a scene where the Doctor shoots a Time Lord and they regenerate from a white man into a black woman, and also then obviously the Master regenerated into Missy. So you know, this isn't new. It isn't new that Time Lords can switch between male and female, and you know, one of the comments I remember seeing was, "It's Time Lord, not Time Lady," you know, or something to that effect. But Time Lord is like human. You know, just because man is in the name human doesn't mean that all humans are male. But regardless of that, you know, Doctor Who is an incredibly progressive show that tries to move with the times as much as it can. I mean, Captain Jack was omnisexual in terms of he'll go for anyone, you know, male, female, alien, it doesn't really matter to him. So you know, you had him. Clara has been hinted at being bisexual. Obviously, there was the Master turning into Missy and that and her thing, and obviously, you know, the 12th Doctor being a raging feminist and his companion being gay. So, you know, it's not like Doctor Who aren't known for providing characters and representation of a diverse group of people. And on that point, regardless of whether there has or hasn't been in the past, now is a very good time for there to be a female Doctor, because you know, you've seen the success of the film Wonder Woman earlier in the year, which I saw it, you know, some plot holes, but it's a superhero film, of course there's plot holes, you know, generally good film, you know, it's not something that I'm going to feel the full effects of because I am a guy, you know, but pretty much everything I heard from anyone who was female or had female children, lots of women felt very empowered by that film because, you know, you had a female lead in a very strong film where she didn't really have to rely on men. I mean, the supporting cast were pretty much all men, but one of the key villains was female as well, and I do have to sort of critique it in terms of it was a bit of a too much of a reliance on the male-female romance in the film. I think it did take away from some of it, but again, I'm a guy, so I don't know if any women out there found that as an issue. I'd be interested to find out, but I felt that was unnecessary given the fact that it was clearly intended to provide that empowerment. A lot of kids as well, that'll have a massive impact on their lives because they will now grow up and that is normal. And that's great. And I feel like the idea that the 13th Doctor is going to be a woman will really have that kind of impact on a lot of children in the UK. You know, there will be a lot of girls who will feel incredibly empowered and incredibly strong because of it. Because they don't, while I'm not taking anything away from any of the companions that have gone through history, you know, some of them have had incredible character arcs and incredibly strong characters and have been very good role models for plenty of children. I'm not trying to take anything away, but they were companions. They're not the Doctor, they're not the main character, they're not the character that is the forefront of the episodes and is the focus, and now that is a woman. And that sends out a message to millions of children that they don't have to just be the companion, they can be the Doctor. Doctor Who tries to give a moral message, tries to be didactic in that way, in terms of giving a teaching through the story, often of acceptance and of perseverance and, you know, just being good people. And how can that be a bad thing to send out to children out there? You know, if she turns out to not be very good in the role, then fine, critique her for that. But I don't understand how people are so angry about the fact that she's a woman. I guess the only sort of thing to go back to a point that I made is the fact that for millions of children out there, you know, having a female Doctor will be normal. There will be plenty of children out there who the first Doctor they see will be a woman, and that's obviously quite powerful, and it will be completely normal for them. Obviously, you know, the normal of my life and the normal that I've grown up with and the society that I've been brought up in is vastly different to the society that those middle-aged people who are angry have been brought up in. What was particularly saddening was Piers Morgan's response. He could be doing so much in a positive way by using his position to educate people. I understand the tactic of essentially being walking clickbait. I don't want to talk too much about him because this video isn't about him and he's not worth my breath. It's kind of ironic because while making a deliberately inflammatory statement, he's also raising awareness for a group of people that he doesn't necessarily believe in. What was also frustrating and saddening was the Sun and the Mail being the Sun and the Mail really, and choosing, instead of running with an article about, you know, how much of a positive step it was for women, or running with a story about Jodie Whittaker's past acting roles or whatever it was, deciding to run with a story about topless and semi-naked scenes that she'd done in previous shows, because while yes, sexuality to a point has always had a place in Doctor Who, or at least it certainly has since it it came back in 2005. You know, sexuality, romance, all of those kind of themes do weigh to a point. The fact that the Doctor is now a woman means that the sun in the male sphere is no more important than her body, and it's quite sad, but it's to be expected because that's about the level of the sun and the male. It reminds me of the article on the front page of the Daily Mail that was run a few months back with Theresa May, another politician. It was either Angela Merkel or Nicola Sturgeon. I can't remember offhand. Sorry, I'll put like a thing here, whereby they were talking about Brexit and the importance of that, but because they were both women, the Daily Mail focused on their outfits and their legs. You know, it's just why does anyone buy that? What does that give you? What's the benefit of that? You know, but I'm all for a little bit of joking around. Like, there were some posts related to this and to other genuine issues out there that are quite funny. Obviously, comedy is subjective, so what I find funny, someone else might not, or what someone else finds funny, I may think is bad. You know, it's all very subjective, and you can't really police comedy. I do think though that there is a difference between being funny and saying something for comedic effect, and then being deliberately ignorant and promoting lack of tolerance. That's not a good thing. I do think that there is an oversensitivity in society and certainly in social media. And I'm not saying that, you know, people were like picked on or sent, you know, terrible things are to blame, because they're not, but there's a difference between being attacked and put down and to reacting to something that isn't necessarily there, or that's just meant as a joke and isn't even necessarily directed at you. I'm just glad personally that the Doctor is not ginger, and I'm going to finish up there. I have a feeling this is going to be a long video. I feel this series is probably going to be full of long videos, but yeah, no, thanks for watching, and if you liked the video or the series, then let me know by giving it a like. If you want to talk about anything I said, or offer your opinion, or start a discussion kind of thing, then, you know, comment section down below is cool. Keep it friendly, please. I would appreciate that if the comment section doesn't turn into just like insult slinging and stuff, you know. Yeah, if you want more stuff like this, especially if it's your first time seeing me, then subscribe. I do these type of videos every Friday from now on, and also loads of other stuff.